Hi there guys, welcome to the CodeLab channel and welcome to the third video in this CSS Animation bite-sized tutorial, and in this video we're going to be learning about the transition property. Now what the transition property allows you to do is change a property's values smoothly over a given duration, and essentially just defines the transition between two states of an element. Now this is also the second link in relation to the transform property in creating an animation, but this doesn't only need to be used with transform, it can be utilized with a variety of different CSS properties. So let's dive into VS Code now and look at a few examples. So you can see here in our demo example, we've got two items. The first transition is this loading game. So we've got this loading bar here, and we've also got this green bar. If I hover over this, you can see now the green bar animates the whole width of the loading bar. And you might typically see this animation in a video game. Now for our second animation, it's going to be back to our submarine image, as you can see here, and this is when we apply the transition to the transform property. So if I hover over the image here, you can see it scales up in size and we get a nice smooth animation, so it looks pretty good. So without wasting any more time, let's get cracking. So as you can see, I've already got some pre-made markup. So we've got a H1, a H2, a div with the class of loading bar, and a div with the class of green bar, because we want that green bar to be positioned absolute inside this loading bar. So we've got it open up here in live server. I'm gonna go inside the style sheet. You can see we've got some global styles, so no marginal padding, and then I've used flexbox just to position this all in the center, and then just some really basic styling for the H1 and the H2. So the first thing I'm gonna style is the loading bar. So we're gonna grab the div with the class of loading bar, give this a width of 400 pixels, 400 pixels, and then a background color of white, a height of 50 pixels, and then let's just give it a more rounded edges, so border radius 10 pixels, and then let's also give us a position relative so we can position the green bar inside of this. So now we're going to grab the div of the class of green bar, and we're going to say position absolute, width 20 pixels, height 100% of the search bar, or sorry, the loading bar. And let's also give this a background color of green, so we can see it here now, and all we need to do is just give it a border radius of 10 pixels. So we're nearly there for the styling. We need to first apply a hover effect to this, so we're just going to grab green bar and we're going to say hover, and we want the width of this to be the same width as the loading bar, so we're going to say 400 pixels, and let's also make sure the border radius is 10 pixels across the whole animation. So border radius 10 pixels. Now if I hover over this, you can see it fills up the whole width of the loading bar, but just is so static, really sharp, and just doesn't look that good. We want to add a nice smooth transition here. So to create a transition effect, we must first specify two things. So we're going inside the green bar because that's the thing we're transitioning, and we're going to say, I'm just going to put a comment here, say transition properties. So the first one we want to do is name the property we want to add the effect to. So we want to say transition property, and we want to say width, and then we also want to apply a duration, because if we don't specify duration, the transition won't actually take effect. So we're going to say transition duration, and let's say we want the duration of this transition to be 3 seconds. Now if I hover over this, you can see now we get that nice smooth animation. Then it looks a lot better than if we don't apply the transition. It's just much cleaner, it just looks a lot nicer. Now there's two more transitional properties you can use. These are optional, but you can use them. So we can first add a delay to this. So let's say transition delay, and let's delay this by 1 second. So you can probably guess what this is going to do. It's going to delay the animation by 1 second. So if we hover over this now, it doesn't happen immediately. It first has a delay of 1 second, and then the transition happens. So that's another optional property you can use. Now we've also got transition timing function, and this just affects the speed curve. Now this has a few values, so we can go over a few of them now. So we're just going to say transition timing function, and the first one we're going to be looking at is ease. Now what ease does is just specify a transition effect with a slow start, then a fast, and then when it comes to the end, it goes back to slow. So first it's going to be slow, going to speed up, and then go slow again. So that's the ease value. Now we've also got linear. So linear, and what linear does is basically just has the same speed from start to finish. So if I hover over this, it's just going to be the exact same speed, doesn't get any faster or slower, just has the same speed. Now we've also got ease in. So this basically is just a slow start. So ease in. So it's going to have a slow start and then it's going to pick up. So first slow, and then it picks up. Then we've also got ease out, which is basically just the opposite. So it's going to have a fast start and then it'll have a slow end. So we're just going to hover over this again, and it'll be fast, and then it'll just start slowing down towards the end. And then we've also got ease in and out, which has a slow start and a slow end, so a little bit similar to ease. So ease in and out. So it's going to have a slow start and then a slow end. Now, like many CSS properties, writing all these longhand properties here is great, but we want to write out as little code as possible to create the same effect. And we can actually create this exact same effect using just one line of code, and that's just the transition property. So we can delete all of this, and we can just say transition. Now, the first value you want to put in here is the property you want to apply the transition to, or the effect to. So we want to apply it to the width, and we want to say 3 seconds. So it's important that you first define these two values, so the property you want to affect and the duration, and then the other two are just optional. So if you want it to be a delay, you just say 1 second, and then let's just say you want it to be ease. So you've applied all 4 of those properties just in one line of code. So if I hover over this now, it's going to have that 1 second delay. It's going to span across the whole width of the loading bar, and it's going to take 3 seconds, and it's just going to be a timing function of ease. Now, as I mentioned, as well as affecting the property of width, we can actually apply the transition property to anything we want, and that includes the transform. So we're first going to bring back our little submarine. So we're going to say submarine, or div with the class submarine, and then image, and then grab the submarine there. So we see it here. That's really big, so we need to make this smaller. So I'm going to go underneath the hover class, and I'm going to say submarine img, and I'm just going to give this a width of, let's say, 300 pixels, a height of 150 pixels, and then also just add a bit of margin to separate it from the loading bar. So let's just say 100 pixels. Now what I'm going to do is apply a hover effect to the image. So submarine image, let's say hover, and if we use transform, let's just scale it up in size. So scale, let's say 1.5. If I hover over this, you can see it's really static and sharp, and just doesn't look that nice. We want to add that nice transition. So what we do, we'll go inside the submarine of image, because that's what we want to apply the transition to. Say transition, or shorthand property. We want to apply this to the transform, and let's say we want it to be 1 second, and let's give it a timing function of ease. And if I hover over this now, you see we get a nice smooth transition, and looks a lot better than just applying a hover effect. Again, we can actually apply more than one transform method here. So let's also skew this. So let's skew it 25 degrees on the X and 25 degrees on the Y. And let's also make it rotate. So let's say, oh, we don't need a comma, sorry. Say rotate, let's say 45 degrees. So this is going to look pretty horrible, but I'm just showing you guys how we can apply multiple methods to the transform. So we've got a transform property here now, 3 different methods, and we've also got a transition. So this will look smooth. It won't look nice, but it will look smooth. So I hover over this, you can see it skews, also rotates 45 degrees, and this scale also gets a bit bigger. Just wanted to quickly add, guys, that we can apply the effect to more than one property. So if you look here in the example of the green bar, you can see the transition effect is applied to the width, but using a comma here, we can apply it to the height. You can apply it to pretty much any property you want. And if you want to apply it to all the properties, all you need to do in here is just say all, and this pretty much applies it now to all the properties within the green bar. And that's essentially how the transition property works, guys. We first use the shorthand or the transition property here. We then define a property we want to apply the effect to, or in some cases you apply it to all the properties. We then define a duration. These 2 values here are really important, otherwise the transition effect won't work. And then if you guys want to add a delay or add a timing function, those options are there for you to use. And that'll be it for this video, guys. If you did like the content, please show your support by hitting the like button, and please consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.